2022年，旧金山亚洲艺术博物馆一举收购了24件华裔艺术家李玉冰的作品。这一举动让西方艺术界纷纷聚焦这位曾经默默无闻的画家。多家重量级画廊迅速展开激烈竞争，争夺他的独家代理权。直至今年，美国蓝筹画廊 Berry Campbell 正式宣布代理其艺术遗产，为他的国际市场发展奠定了深厚根基。要知道，在美国，极少有华裔艺术家被纳入20世纪艺术史的主流叙事中。而李玉冰的成功不仅标志着其市场的上升，也为华裔艺术家在国际舞台上的崛起释放出强劲信号。本期视频带你走进李玉冰北美首场大型回顾展，深入解读值得收藏的投资级佳作。Hello, Christine. So wonderful to see you, and congratulations on this major exhibition.
I'm so glad to see you again. I hope you had a wonderful summer. Thank you so much for coming to our season opener. This is a big deal for us. Thank you.
I know Berry Campbell has been instrumental in bringing long overlooked post-war female artists to the forefront, successfully elevating the profiles of artists such as Lynn Drexler, Janice Biala, and Bernice Bing. As Bernice Bing is the first Asian American artist represented by your gallery,
yes.
I'm curious to know how you perceive her significance within a broader context of Western art.
Kieran, thank you for that. Martha Campbell and I truly feel that it's important that we go back in history and look at the artists who were known during their day. There's many reasons why they were overlooked. A couple years ago, as you know, we did a show of West Coast women of abstract expressionism. So often we talk about the New York school, Jackson Pollock, Willem de Kooning, Elaine de Kooning. So we realized that San Francisco was really a hotbed of abstract expressionism as well. And when we did this West Coast show, we saw more paintings by Bernice Bing. She's known on the West Coast, but never had a solo show in New York. And I think it's important for people to see on the East Coast and other parts of the world what is known in San Francisco.
And this retrospective provides a comprehensive overview of Bernice Bing's work from 1961 to 1998, spanning nearly 4 decades. Can you tell us more about the artist?
Since it was the first time for an exhibition of hers in New York, a major show, we wanted to do a survey so that you could get an understanding of her life. So we did a major catalog as well. It's 80 pages. John Yao wrote the essay. So Bernice Bing was born in San Francisco in 1936. Her father was originally from China. Her mother was born in the US. Her mother and her aunt worked as dancers in Chinatown. It wasn't a great life. Her father died in jail. She went to foster homes in the US and it was not pleasant. She was abused there. But the one thing that we found during this time is when she was going to school, she fell in love with art. Making art gave her happiness. Making art gave her peace. She was so good that she won several awards while she was a young woman and then got a full scholarship to California College of the Arts.
And here we stand before this majestic centerpiece of this exhibition, Bernie Falls, which was made in 1980, a monumental piece that gracefully fuses Western painting techniques with Eastern aesthetics and the contemplative essence of Zen philosophy.
What I love about this mix that you just mentioned is this beautiful gesture of abstract expressionism. She knows Pollock and de Kooning. She knows what's happening in New York. But what's great about the California artists is they often infuse the landscape. They're not so pure about just painting an abstract form. This is Bernie Falls, California. It is a beautiful waterfall. It's a long waterfall with mountains peeking out in between. I can almost hear this painting, the waterfall flowing in it. This is one of the largest paintings she ever painted that we know of.
Bernice Bing is best known for her gorgeous, color-blazing Northern California landscapes. And this work has such a powerful presence. Her use of richly textured, thickly applied paint adds a tactile dimension to the canvas, making the landscapes feel almost tangible, as if nature itself were within reach.
These works really sort of, like we talked about, are borderline abstraction and representation. She left San Francisco in the early 60s, really couldn't afford to live there. She went to the vineyards in Sonoma Valley, and she was a caretaker to a large vineyard, and she was absolutely turned on to nature. There's a series of these called the Mayacamas paintings, but what I love is this sort of, we know it's a mountainscape, so there's this softer wash. While there's thicker brushstrokes up here, there's a softer wash. In this area, you can see through right to this lighter blue, or see through to the paint underneath. It is a very subtle, very sophisticated painting. This is one of my favorites in the show. This painting is based off of Velázquez's painting called Las Meninas. I think it shows her character that she felt she could paint this incredible Western painting with her own vision. But the interesting thing about this painting is that it's always about Velázquez, the artist, being in the picture, the gaze of the artist.
Yeah.
And now we have the gaze of a female artist, a lesbian, Asian American artist, looking out not at the white artist, but it's interesting that I think she's looking at identity at this time. So it's a very, very important example of her work, an early example, and there's not many from this time period.
In 1984, Bernice Bing embarked on a 3-month journey to Korea, Japan, and China, where she lectured on abstract expressionism and studied Chinese calligraphy with Wang Dongling and landscape painting at the Zhejiang Academic in Hangzhou. This experience deepened her engagement with Asian ink painting and calligraphy, as seen in her works here, where the fluidity of calligraphic brushstrokes merges with the tension and vibrancy of abstract expressionism, creating a dynamic balance of movement and poetic energy on the canvas.
I think this is exactly what you were talking about earlier. This is a beautiful balance between East and West. There are some curators who feel that this particular group of works that she made after her trip in the 1980s are her most important works, because as a woman who grew up in white Caucasian foster families, she didn't know much about her Chinese history or her identity. So this trip to China really educated her on so many levels. At this time, she also became very strongly a Buddhist. This is not just calligraphy as we know it as writing, it is expressive. I love the palette of these. This piece itself is called Quantum 2. She was very intelligent. She studied physics. She studied philosophy. She studied myth. She was very knowledgeable on all these subjects. This is a group of 25 works, and she put these in this particular sequence. I think she liked that it was physics, like a puzzle or math. It looks so stunning in this room. I'm so pleased that we have all pieces together here in the show. So as you know, Bernice Bing, her nickname was Bingo. She's had a lot of recent resurgence in the last couple of years. 2 major museum shows, including one at the Asian Art Museum curated by Abby Chen. And that show was very important because it sort of spread the news worldwide. She was written up in the New York Times. Also, Stanford University received her archive. This painting is very special. We believe this to be the last painting she ever painted. It's called Om and meditative. And as I've talked about, she was very much into painting and drawing in a repetitive form, almost as a meditation or a mantra. So you can see that mark making here, going back and forth, layers, layers deep, beautiful sort of form of an infinity or an 8. And just the colors and the coloration are just stunning in this painting. This is a culmination of Bernice Bing's work throughout her career, making wonderful paintings towards the end of her life and finding peace and joy.
Overlooked during her lifetime, Bing is now being rediscovered as major institutions reassess her contributions, cementing her significance within the broader context of American art. With growing academic recognition and market interest, her works are increasingly valued for their historical and cultural significance, as well as their investment potential. Now presents a prime opportunity for collectors to acquire her art at an early stage, ahead of her market's anticipated rise.
Karen, I don't know if you know this, but we are coming to Art Basel, Hong Kong this year.
Congratulations! I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I look forward to being with you in Hong Kong, and we will be bringing some works by Bernice Bing, among some other favorites, Lynn Drexler and others. So I can't wait to see you in Hong Kong.
Looking forward to it. 那我们今天的画廊私访就先到这里。如果你想要收藏视频中介绍的藏品，可以在视频下方找到我们的联系方式。如果你喜欢本期的视频，别忘了点赞、评论、收藏、转发。我们下期见啦！